Hello, welcome to Furious T-Rake, the home of just rambling about stuff really. Well, in the last video or so, people have been commenting, why have I got scaffolding out the front of the house? Well, it's a very simple reason. The answer is this. We've gone electric, well, solar powered electric from now on. Now this is something which I don't think it's really controversial anymore. It's something we've been thinking about for a very long time. I first started looking at getting solar panels on the house a good 10 years ago because, you know, the environmental benefits of solar on your roof are totally undeniable. It's far better to take free power from the sun than it is to go and get coal burnt or gas burnt or importing it from abroad, all the other ways to do it. This is the best way of running your own home. However, when I first looked at it, it was very expensive, like 15,000 for a not that efficient system, which is good, but better than nothing, but not really worth it financially as well. It's got to have two prongs of the argument, unless you're very, very keen on the eco stuff to make it fully worthwhile, ecologically, greenly. However, we couldn't really justify it. But things have massively changed, and this is where we get to put a massive finger up to the power companies, because they have been ripping us a new one for the last 6 months or so, and it's only going to get worse in the next couple of months, even year or so. So I started looking around at the cost of these things, the cost benefits as well as, you know, the environmental benefits, which have gone up as well, because the panels are now enormously more powerful than they used to be as well, and the systems that run them are far cleverer too. Our power bill has more than doubled over the last year. I'm sure yours has done very similar or worse, and it's only going to get worse in the future. However, got a quote for a loan, and it was cheaper per month to pay a loan on all of this than I've already gone up on my power bill. So by putting this and running the house on it, I'm actually saving money, which is insane. Now, annoyingly, I don't know exactly what I've put back into the network in terms of money, because we haven't had all the paperwork go through yet, and it takes a couple of weeks to actually get your feed sorted out. But the app, which tells you everything what the thing is doing, how much power is in the battery, which direction everything is going in terms of feeding from battery or panels to the house or to the grid or back again, it's estimating 7p per kilowatt hour exported from the house, and it reckons we've done £50 worth of power in the first 6.5 days. And this is September time, so it's not the fullest of suns, so if we call that an average, that's potentially £200 a month coming back from the panels on the roof, which is more than paying for the loan, and it's going to cover the gas bill as well. So this is the ultimate no-brainer, free power and sticking it to a big corporation. Now it's become a financial as well as an environmental argument. You really can't say no to that kind of thing, can you? So this video you're watching was filmed on a camera that's charged on free solar power from the sun. It was edited on a laptop that was charged on free solar power from the sun. The router that uploaded it to the internet was powered by free solar power from the sun. This cup of tea was boiled with free solar power from the sun. In the last week since we've had this thing, we have exported, hang on, I think there's an app here to tell me, 70 kilowatt hours of power. The rest of the house has been running on the panels, and we've only used about 5 kilowatts of power imported from the grid over a week, which means our power bills are now massively reduced. The cost of this is completely offset, not just by the power savings, but also because you can export back to the grid and then you get paid for the power, and that pays the loan as well. So effectively free power and potentially even making a profit. This is insane. Now, the system we've gone for is an 11-panel system. It's meant to be a 12-panel system. Unfortunately, they forgot there was a chimney up there, and so we had to drop one on the way. If you're interested in technical stuff, this is still making, despite losing a panel, 4,235 kilowatt peak hours, which is an awful lot of oomph. And now you might be wondering, well, what do you do in the daytime? Fair enough, you're chucking all this power out in the daytime when the sun's shining. What about the night time when you're actually at home using it? Well, that's where the clever stuff comes in. There's an inverter, which is very, very clever indeed, connected to a battery, and the battery stores about enough power to run the house for the evening. So TV, dishwasher, maybe a shower or two, that's all coming off the battery. And every day so far, we've still had about 20% of power left in the battery in the morning. So when we put the kettle on first thing, that is still juicing it in as well. It's a very clever system. It actually works out what's being used and where it can send power best. So if it's powering, if it can charge the battery, it will. If it can put power out to the grid, it will. It's amazing. And all of this has a side benefit that we now have extra insulation on the roof, so it'll be warmer during the winter, and extra sun-proofing insulation, like on a Safari Land Rover during the summertime, because we've got this air gap between the panels and the roof, so the house will stay cooler during the summertime as well. And if you're thinking about getting panels, one thing I'll definitely recommend are these things. These are bird guards that stop birds climbing under and nesting and making a mess and just spoiling your roof. The other advantage I'm hoping we're going to get is this root gutter is not going to keep on filling with dirt, because it was literally filled to the brim with effectively mud. So since I've had to pay for scaffolding to be up here on the roof, I've taken advantage of this. I've been up here, I've emptied the gutters, and I've painted my soffits. If you're going to get scaffolding, learn where the key is and take advantage of every other job you possibly can. If you're watching this video and wondering whether it's worthwhile, at the moment, with this amount of sunshine, 100% definitely yes, do it. But with interest rates about to go up, it may almost be too late to do it unless you're doing it today. But there are problems because there's a supply chain issues. The week before installation, they changed the specification to ever so slightly lower panels and a slightly smaller battery, just because they couldn't get the stuff in that they thought they would have in. Everyone wants panels as well, so it took a really long time to get them installed because suddenly the cost of electricity and gas means that everyone is taking any alternative that they can do. And I think this is a good thing, because the power companies have absolutely taken advantage of the situation and stitched everyone up as much as they can for a quick buck. And if we can all get off their teat, if we can be feeding off our own supplies rather than theirs in the future and hurt their profits in the future, then fantastic. That'll teach them. If they'd not put their prices up so high, I wouldn't have bothered doing this. And I'm sure a lot of people are the same. So they might be making a quick buck right now, but long term, they're shooting themselves in the foot. So I'm really happy to have done this, just to stuck it to the big power companies. It's only been a week so far, but in these weather conditions, it's been fantastic. I know during the winter time it will become less powerful. If we get snow, I'm gonna have to come up here with a ladder and a broom and sweep it all off, because I don't want it to be stopped by the thickness of snow stopping any light reaching it. We do also have the possibility of adding about 4 more panels onto the garage roof, because that is also facing in a good enough direction to catch a lot of sun. In fact, the roof is getting better sun right now, first thing in the morning, than the house is. So that's a possibility for the future. We'll see how we go with this. I'll keep you posted in a couple of months' time, when I can see exactly what we've spent, what we've earned, and whether it's been a success. But judging by the first week, I'm going to say yes, 100% success rate. And if you've got a roof that's facing the right direction and big enough to take a few panels, do it, because it's definitely worthwhile. This has been Tea Break, a short ramble about stuff, and I'll let you know what we've spent or saved when the first bill comes.